I'm Dr. Greg Ellis. In part 2 of 1200 calories a day, I want to discuss the reasons why people get stumped on the idea that they can't lose weight on 1200 calories a day. Now, everybody has a metabolic rate. You couldn't live without it. This is measurable in the lab, but we don't have to go through all that. You actually very easily predict it by a formula. So your resting metabolic rate is the number of calories you need to stay alive all day. Your total daily energy expenditure is the sum of the resting metabolic rate and your physical activity level. Now on my site, there's a place where you can calculate both your resting metabolic rate, RMR, and get a prediction of what your total daily energy expenditure would be. Now typically most people who don't do volitional exercise will burn about 55% more calories through physical activity than what their resting metabolic rate is. So for the ease of this discussion, let's assume that you have a total daily energy expenditure of 2,500 calories. That's how many calories you need to consume to maintain yourself. And if you eat that and you burn that, they will match and your weight will remain the same. Now, people are obviously not happy with their weight. They're choosing to go on diets all the time. And the one that seems that most people choose is a 1,200 calorie a day diet. And they get their little book out and they start counting the calories they think they're consuming. And maybe in the beginning they lose a little bit of weight, but pretty much down the road it all stalls out and they quit losing. And they wonder what's wrong, why they're no longer losing when they're only eating 1,200 calories a day. And then they blame the calorie theory. Well, this calorie theory can't be correct because I'm eating 1,200 and I'm not losing any weight at all. So I'm not going to listen to that anymore. I'm not going to listen to the calorie theory. I'm not going to believe that. I'm going to listen to all these people running around out there saying that the calorie theory is invalid because it doesn't work. Okay, now, the fact is you are not eating 1,200 calories a day. They are the real facts. It's not what you're eating. You're miscounting. You're not counting accurately. And most people at this point will argue how anal they are, and they can't be making a mistake. But if you follow the basic law of calories in, calories out, you accept its truthfulness, then you will know from that that you're eating far more than 1,200 calories a day. And obviously, if you're not losing, you're probably eating close to what your predicted calorie burn is. So this is really where it gets sticky. How can you mess up by 1,200 calories? In other words, 1,200 plus the 1,200 you're missing, or the 1,300 that sum up to the 2,500 that we think you're burning. Well, people do it all the time. So this whole thing has been tested many times. They've taken people who are eating 1,200 calories a day, they say, and they lock them into a metabolic chamber where they can measure their exact calorie burn, they measure their oxygen consumption and their carbon dioxide output, and they feed them accurately determined diets of 1,200 calories. They always lose weight. Always. So obviously they were eating far more than 1,200 calories a day. So that's the proof of it. And there's been other studies of something called doubly labeled water which have shown the same thing. So there's no question about this, that people are eating far more than they think they're eating. So if you think that you're eating 1,200 but you're not losing weight, you're not eating 1,200. Now I have found that just telling people to count more accurately does not work because by whatever method they're using, they're really getting it wrong. So I often advise clients to go on 700 calories a day. Count the same way you're currently counting now, and you'll probably be eating 1,500 calories a day when you do that, and you will lose weight. But they argue that they'll starve. No, you're not going to starve because you're not actually eating 700. You're eating far more than that. But certainly enough by which you can actually lose weight based on your calorie burn during the course of the day. So you have to get over the notion that you're counting your calories accurately. The vast majority of people are not. And they're not going to lose weight doing what they're doing. It's just impossible. So count up as accurately as you can, and then when you see you're not losing weight, you know you're eating more than you need, and you've got to cut back even further. So that's how this whole calorie thing actually works. I'm Dr. Greg Ellis.